We will also see how the pipeline is going to make a difference. The way you design your hospital layout, the way you have laid out your ICUs, the floors that you utilize are going to make a huge difference in the requirements of oxygen. Your ICUs, your high density units which require more oxygen, all of them should be on the lowest floor that is possible. Keeping them on the lowest floor possible ensures proper stable supply with less pressure and subsequently less leakages into the MGPS. So suppose you have 3 or 4 floors, what you can do is that on the lowest floor you can have people with the highest requirement of oxygen. A level above you can have patients with BiPAP. A level above you can have O2 beds. A level above you can have a step down facility. Another great way of cutting down oxygen requirement, if you are having a huge hospital which has a huge requirement of oxygen and a lot of number of patients, is creating a special step down area in which patient would be shifted when they are on the winning of the oxygen. They are put on the winning, so that you can easily monitor them and have the oxygen winning properly implemented in that area. Is that when the patient is shifting, you have to take a lot of precautions. So I have seen many patients who go really bad when they are getting shifted. What happens is that temporarily their source of oxygen needs to be removed, and this is where lot of problems can be caused to the patient and hypoxia can be caused to the patient. Now let us see what happens. What are the reasons in which such circumstances take place? Many times in the ambulances, the stretcher that is there for the ambulance at the basement doesn't have any fitment to fit the class D kind of cylinders. So you should have a proper fitment to the stretcher while shifting the patient out of the ambulance. The arrangement should be such that such fitment should directly fit into the stretcher and the class D type of cylinder should be fitted into it. If this doesn't happen, while the patient is coming inside the hospital, there is a problem that will happen is that till he is admitted and registered, he may get hypoxia. Another way is that when the patient is being shifted from one unit into another unit, what happens if the patient is kept on a HFNO, or if he is really being delivered more than 15 LPM of the oxygen and the patient is transferred into NIV. At this moment, many times I have seen is that when the patient is moved from one ward to another ward, his oxygen level has to be stepped down because the HFNO might give 30 LPM, 40 LPM, 50 LPM, and the patient on the oxygen cylinder will only give 15 LPM. So intermittent that the patient is transferred from HFNO, which I advise to phase them out, and he is put into the NIV. There is a gap that happens. Especially beds are not aligned, stretchers are not on the level, patient is too weak to be moved, patient is too heavy to be lifted, patient is in a critical situation. All this causes a lot of issues in which the patient can go into the hypoxia. So all these precautions to be taken and a smooth patient transfer SOP has to be established, so that when the patient is transferred, all the precautions are taken. It's just like we are now creating a green corridor for oxygen tankers. That means we see that when the tanker moves, there are no obstructions. So similar kind of arrangements need to be made into the hospital, and when the patients are transferred from ward to ward, they are shifted out. Continuous supply of oxygen at the required LPM is very much essential. This will see that the patient doesn't deteriorate, his health doesn't deteriorate, and subsequently if it happens, he is going to requiring more oxygen, more tertiary care, which is the current problem in our country.